presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Glenn in Massachusetts. Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
You know what is good for us is Tom O'Brien providing an unbiased source of information for us investors. You don't have an agenda. It's just to cut through everything and to give us the facts. I want to thank you.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Cultivate wisdom. You don't need to accumulate knowledge to become wise. Anyone can become wise. When you become wise, you respect your body, you respect your mind, and you respect your soul. When you become wise, your life is controlled by your heart, not your head. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 81, Nasdaq up 26, S&P's up 9, gold contract down 260, trading at $1,417 an ounce. Silver off 8 cents at $37.08. Platinum down $4, trading out at $1,740 an ounce. Copper flat at $4.35 a pound. Light sweet crude up 74 cents, trading out at $104.72 a barrel. Bonds down 20 ticks at 119.25. Dollar index up 5 ticks at 76.43. Euro up 2 ticks at 141. Excuse me, folks. Yen up 77 ticks at 82.46. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do we do? You get to a price point today of 13.05. Reject lower price. We're at 13.19. We're going right into, we got over February 23rd downdraft. That was $2.4 billion. You're going into the initial downdraft from the 22nd. It's going to need a lot more juice getting in here. What we did out here today, folks, is this. You did 798 million shares. You're going into 1.3 billion shares. That is on the 22nd. And if you go over to March 1st, both of those areas, we take a look at March 1st. What you have with March 1st out there was 1.1 billion. So what we had done is this. February 18th, that was the high. You come off that high of 1344. First leg down took you to 1312. That leg on the 22nd of February, that leg came down there with 1.3 billion. You went all the way back. Well, so watch what we did. We got to 1294. You got all the way back up to 1332. Let loose again at 1332. That was on March 1st. You did 1.1 billion shares. That day we closed out at 1306. That's what we're going into. That's going to be the challenge. That's the real bottom line. Now, it gets interesting here, too, is this. They're not quite 3 black crows, but what does happen in a council charting system, folks, is this. And I remember when this was coming down, I was actually talking about this. When you come down 3 straight days and they're almost the same amount of days, they love to get tested. That's what I expect we're having happen here, particularly because you have the end of the month, beginning of the month scene happening. We go to the Dow Industrials. You take a look at the Dow Industrials. Same type of setup in the Dow Industrials. What you have with the Dow. Dow today is up 81 points. You're trading out at 12,279. That 12,279 is right into the downdraft day of the 22nd. That's where we came downtown with the 1.3 billion. The composite, NASDAQ composite, what we did with the composite out here, she is over the 26th. Well, she's not over the 23rd yet, so she's still working her way inside the 23rd. NASDAQ had been the weakest, still is the weakest indice. NASDAQ, the composite, was the high out there was 2840, about another 90 points up, 80 points up. We had come off that high on the 22nd of February. The way we came off that high, first day down, we came down with 2.2 billion shares. The day it's coming into right now is 2.495 billion. And we did this today with 1.630. So it's going to need a lot more juice to get into that. NASDAQ composite, not the same as the Dow Industrials or the S&P, meaning 3 black crows. Gold contract. We take a look at gold. What we had with gold out here is this today. Price spread in gold was 14.11 to 14.23. You did 120,000 contracts. That 120. Now you're inside the lower range, meaning you're inside the 1434 level. 1434. We had broke topside March 7th. Couldn't handle it. Gold goes from 1445 back down to 1380. Broke out again March 24th. Couldn't handle it again. We go from 1448 down to 1417. It looks to me like what you're going to see here, we're at 1417. It looks like the 1423 is going to get hit again. This is going to try to lunge into those highs it's going to try to lunge into the lows of the highs. That's the way it seems to be setting up right now. Bond market, we take a look at the bond market, what we have out here in bonds. The 30-year bond out here today, pulled back 20 ticks. Did it with 224,000 contracts, and it's going to lead a lot more than that, folks. The reason being that it's going into 392,000 contracts and 412,000 contracts. The 30-year bond still wants to trade up into the 123.22 area. That's the way that little baby is set up right now. Dollar index. Now, we take a look at the dollar. Of course, the dollar has been written off as dead. Bottom line, folks, the dollar is not dead. Dollar index today, we had a price spread out here of 76.17. That was the low. 76.70 was the high. We closed out on this session at 76.43. What does that do? We were pulling back with 19,000 contracts going into 28,000 contracts. The dollar wants to get up into the 77.67 area. Euro, we take a look at the euro. What the euro did out here today, she had a sideways move out here. She's inside the lower range. And the euro is going to be wild watching next week because the way the European Central Bank is out there yapping, they're yapping that they're going to be raising rates. And if they don't raise rates, watch out for the euro, folks, because that thing will absolutely get toasted and roasted. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. If we go over to a Nico Eagle, and, it's amazing how just, the way that when you have heavy volume at lows, folks, and you never know what's going to bring it back. And let me tell you something. It is so strange. It's amazing. Well, an Eco Eagle today, anyway, pulls back $1.26. This had a high out here of $88. It's trading at $64. It's going after the low swing point out here of 63.53. Now, I suspect that level is actually going to get taken out, and this is why. What you have here is that when we bring this back, and this was my initial heads up in the metal market, many of the larger equities in general. And what it was is this, folks. When you take an Eco Eagle, first off, what it had done is it tested the highs of 2008 on dramatically lighter volume. When we were up there in the weekly before, it was 24,000 shares. You did it with 10. Stock blew apart because now it goes down $20 from a high when gold's at highs, okay? Then what ends up happening, accelerates down with volume, pops up with lighter volume. Now it's building the next leg down. And what you have here, so technically that's how it's set up. And it's set up, which is sticking out like a sore thumb, is $58. $58, folks, was the high of the lows of 2008. Well, sure enough, and this is what's really bizarre. What ends up happening today is that they came across, the full story's not out there yet, but the bottom line is that they're citing their Meadow Bank facility. This was a gold facility, folks, that was going to push out 1.1 to 1.23 million ounces of gold was destroyed by a fire. It's really weird, man, how this happens. It's like, that can't be built into the chart. But the bottom line is that now that what gets really interesting about this, that really didn't kill the stock today. That stock, when that news gets disseminated a little bit more, you're going to see that stock, I suspect, tomorrow morning, what it's going to do, it's going to blow by the swing point of 63.59, and you have an ABC structure down. The A point on this is 76. The B point is 63. That's 13 points, 13 off 71. Brings you down to the, 57 area. Now, what's interesting about this, if you get the gold report, this equity here was just one beautiful equity for us, okay? And what do you hear the history, though, folks? The history is unbelievable. what had ended up happening with this equity is that they had an occurrence that they had a mine cave in on them. The wall caved in. And what ended up happening is that when that wall caved in, the equity had pulled back huge amounts. Okay, I'm talking huge amounts. Well, and in that particular case, what you had is that it's percentage-wise, it was the same type of amount. Okay, bottom line is that the equity goes from about 15 down to 11 or 12. Well, bottom line, we got it at that price point, and I knew the technical setup was there. Now, the fundamental setup, well, wait to hear what ended up happening, which was just amazing. That equity never looked back from $11 all the way up to $80 over the next 4 years. And what had happened is this, is that when the wall, now this is a different situation now, but when the wall had crushed in at an eco-eagle, what no one was figuring out was this, is that once they cleared all the debris and cleared the rock out of the mine, all the rock, folks, had gold in it. So what ended up happening is that when they came out with their numbers, they were extraordinary numbers, and they accelerated the amount of ounces they got because they didn't have to dig the ounces out. Is that bizarre or what? But so there's one side of it. Now we'll see what the other side of it is. The other side of it is the fire. As soon as I saw it, it was like, oh man, this time it's just saying it's a fire versus a wall coming down. So the key is, folks, if you ever do see a mine that all the walls collapse, hopefully everyone's all right. But if you see that, pay attention to it because it's a lot easier. They don't have to drill. They don't have to blast. The nature just did it for you. They bring the rock out, and if there is minerals in that rock, it's a field day. Let's go to Joe in Tampa. Hey, Joe, what's going on? You there, Joe?
Yeah.
What's happening?
KVA, not much. How you doing?
KVA?
Yes.
KVA.
I'm not getting into that.
Let's see. It's milk?
No, KVA, pharmaceutical.
KVA. What is the symbol?
KVA.
K King, V Victor, A Apple, right?
Right.
Let me see. KVA. I get KVA and it's not coming up.
Sometimes you got to put KV.A though. Sometimes it won't. Some won't take it.
Maybe I just need KV. KV Pharmaceutical. Okay, hold on one second. Change. Just give me a second.
All right.
I see. Okay, KV. I see what you're saying. KV/A. Let's see. We got that. There we go. Okay, we got it. KV Pharmaceutical. They develop, manufacture, market, control, release drugs. The low is 60 cents. The high is 13. They lose $2.90. Okay, so they take in $3 million. What the heck happened to this company? This company used to take in $158 million, and now they take in $3 million. What a trip. Hey, you just stay there for a second.
Okay.
This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. We ended out, finish up fifth, 81. NASDAQ up 26. S&P's up 9. Gold down 240. Silver off 3 cents. We're going to be right back, folks.